Long ago, in a distant kingdom, there lived a man whose faith in God would be tested in one of the most terrifying ways imaginable. His name was Daniel, and his story is not just about survival. It's about the limitless power of God that transcends generations. The same God who shut the mouths of lions in Daniel's time is the same God who can silence the lions in our lives today. Daniel was no ordinary man. He was known for his wisdom, integrity, and unwavering faith in God. He had risen to a high position in the kingdom of Babylon, serving King Darius faithfully. But this rise to power wasn't without jealousy. The other officials envied Daniel's favor with the king and sought to bring him down. One day, these jealous men devised a cunning plan. They knew Daniel's faith in God was unshakable, so they convinced King Darius to issue a law. For 30 days, no one could pray to any god or man except the king. The punishment? Being thrown into a den of hungry lions. In the same way, in today's world, there are many who find themselves targeted for their beliefs, integrity, or refusal to compromise their values. Discrimination, persecution, and unfair treatment can feel like a modern-day lion's den, where our faith and courage are tested by the pressures of society. But Daniel's heart was fixed on God. He did not falter. Even though he knew about the king's decree, Daniel continued to pray 3 times a day, as he always had, kneeling by his window, facing Jerusalem, and lifting his heart to heaven. No threat could shake his faith. The jealous officials spied on him, waiting for the moment to pounce. And when they caught him in the act of prayer, they rushed to tell the king. King Darius, though he respected Daniel, was bound by his own law. With a heavy heart, he ordered Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den. The king said to him, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." As the stone was rolled over the mouth of the den, the lions roared from within. Their eyes gleamed in the darkness, their hunger unbearable. It seemed that this was the end for Daniel. Imagine the fear that could have overwhelmed Daniel, just as we feel overwhelmed by the lions in our own lives. Whether it's the uncertainty of financial instability, the stress of strained relationships, or the pressure to conform to worldly standards. Yet Daniel stood firm, trusting that God's power was greater than any danger he faced. In our own lives, the lions may come in many forms: fear and anxiety, financial struggles, or the temptation to compromise our values when faced with difficult decisions. Just as Daniel refused to stop praying, we too are called to remain faithful, trusting that God's power will see us through even the darkest moments. That night, God sent his angel to shut the mouths of the lions. They did not harm Daniel. He sat peacefully among them, untouched, because of his unshakable faith in the God who is more powerful than any danger. Meanwhile, King Darius couldn't sleep. He paced back and forth, filled with regret. At the break of dawn, the king hurried to the lion's den, hoping for a miracle. When the stone was rolled away, he called out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God been able to rescue you from the lions?" From the darkness, Daniel's voice echoed back, "My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight." Just as God shut the mouths of the lions for Daniel, he can shut the mouths of the lions in our lives today. Those lions may roar in the form of overwhelming anxiety or fear of the future, but God's power can silence them. He is still the same God, and his protection is just as mighty now as it was then. The power of God in Daniel's life was undeniable. King Darius was so amazed that he issued a decree across his entire kingdom, declaring that the God of Daniel is the living God, whose kingdom would never be destroyed. And that power, it hasn't diminished with time. The same God who shut the mouths of lions in Daniel's generation is still at work in this present generation. When we face the lion's den of fear and anxiety, God's peace can calm our hearts. When we face the lions of discrimination or persecution, God's justice will prevail. When we stand at the edge of financial struggles or health challenges, God's provision and healing are more than enough. The lions in our lives may roar, But just as Daniel trusted in God's power, we too can trust that God is able to bring us through any trial. Lesson: the story of Daniel in the lion's den is a reminder to never limit the power of God in our lives. Just as God protected Daniel in the face of overwhelming danger, He is ready and able to do the same for us. The same God who worked wonders in Daniel's time is the same God we serve today. Let us not underestimate what He can do. No matter the challenges we face, whether they come in the form of temptation, persecution, anxiety, or doubt, God's power is more than enough to bring us through. The lions may roar, but God is greater. Trust Him and watch as He shuts the mouths of the lions in your life. Kindly like and subscribe to this channel for more inspirational Bible stories. God bless you.